Am I wrong for cockblocking my older brother? Obligatory throwaway on mobile and happened last week. So I, 24 male, decided on a whim to visit my parents who live 2 hours away. When I showed up, my parents and my brother, 26 male, were prepping to host a dinner party type thing. My parents were glad to see me, but my brother's always been kinda weird and didn't even acknowledge my presence, but it was chill, and I've gotten used to it. Fast forward a few hours, their guests arrive, and my parents' friends brought their daughter, who looked to be me and my brother's age, who I will call Iris for the sake of this story, with them. I was minding my own business and feeding my cat an egg when Iris came by to say hi, and she thought it was the coolest thing ever, and we started talking about animals and food, which branched off into a ton of other stuff, and turns out we had a lot in common. So we kept chatting all night. This whole time my brother has not said stuff to me or Iris at all, and just watched us from across the dinner table, and as soon as dinner was over he dipped to his room while me and Iris played Overcooked. I went upstairs to invite my brother, but his door was locked and he was ignoring me, so I said duck it and just played without him. As Iris and co were leaving, we exchanged numbers and made plans while I was still in the area. As soon as the door closed, all hell broke loose. My parents started berating me because turns out they set the whole dinner party thing up to try and get my brother and Iris together, and I apparently ducked the whole thing up. I told them that I had no idea and my brother has been ignoring me since I got back. My parents told me to lose Iris's number, and if she texted me, I'm not to respond. This is the part where I may be in butthole. I told my parents to pound sand and that I was going to check into a hotel, and as soon as I was settled and I was going to text her. I've been talking to Iris, and she told me that her parents don't really talk to my parents as much anymore. So I'm wondering if I ducked something major up. Am I in the wrong here? Edit. Alright, since all of you are curious about the egg thing, it's a large grey Dare egg that came from Costco, which I had lightly scrambled and left unseasoned, that I hand feed to my cat, who is a 6-year-old chunky tortoiseshell. Am I wrong for kicking my boyfriend out during global issues and calling his mom to come get him? I, 30 female, let my boyfriend Jess, 39 male, come live with me and my niece/nephew, who I have custody of, a year before global issue mess, so he moved in around the start of 2019. But we'd been dating since 2016. I own a modest 3-bedroom home, left to me by my mom, that I have to pay all utilities/property tax/etc on. No mortgage thank god, but everything else I pay. His lease was coming to an end soon, and we'd decided he'd come live with us for a year to see if we'd work out as a married couple. I discussed it with my niece and nephew, and they were alright with it, since it was a test. Things went well for most of 2019. He paid for part of the utilities and helped around the house. But long story short, he lost his job at the end of 2019 and didn't try looking for a new one. He said he was, but I don't see how he had time between his day-long gaming sessions. He lived off his savings until they dried up, stopped helping out around the house, and just turned into a couch potato. But the absolute worst thing was when he'd flip out when he was losing one of his games. He'd rage and scream. He knows I can't handle men screaming, like at all. I talked to him and told him he couldn't act that way in my house. He got all teary and apologized and did better for a week. Then he was right back to his crap behavior. It freaked my niece and nephew out. There's a reason I have custody of them. And around August I finally snapped at him and said if he didn't get his crap together he was gone. He cried and said he was trying, and things were so hard right now, and he basically guilted me into feeling bad for him. I told him he had 1 month to get himself together, clean himself up, stop laying on the couch all day, do stuff around the house, look for any kind of work, etc, or he was out. He sniffled and said okay. Nothing changed. He took a shower, but kept up the gaming, the rage quitting, not looking for a job, everything. Well, 1 month after that I told him I was done, and he needed to get out that day. He turned on the waterworks again, but I was done, so I called his mom to come get him. She came around. She could hear him sobbing in the background, I'm sure, and it was a huge ducking scene. Turns out he'd been lying about having a job. She shamed him into getting up and packing everything of his and leaving with her. I took his key and he gave me the most hate-filled glare on his way out. He told our friends, and they said I was heartless for kicking him out mid-global issues, and that I embarrassed him by calling his mom like that. I thought I handled it maturely, but they're all saying I'm the butthole and handled it badly. So am I in the wrong? Edit. I just sent a detailed message about everything that happened to the group Discord all our mutual friends chat on. I didn't spare a single detail and even told them if they didn't believe me to call his mom. She knows what's up. I'll see what they have to say. Edit 2. Well, one of our mutual friends heard my side of the breakup. Yes, we are broken up now, and went to go talk to him, and she grilled him over text about what he said / what I said, and he eventually broke down and admitted he'd lied and had been for a while. She in turn posted the screenshots of him admitting he'd lied to try and make me look like the bad guy. Our friends aren't amused, and all of them apologized to me, both in the chat and via call, for jumping the gun without hearing my side first. I've forgiven them, but let them know, having them treat me like that without even seeing what I had to say first hurt a lot, since I tried for months to get Jess to get help, but he refuses. Things are better on the friend front, but Jess keeps trying to private message me, and I haven't looked at any of them. Honestly, I just don't want to talk to him for a while. I'm very tired and want to just enjoy my now clean and quiet house. And to those concerned, my niece and nephew are both doing much better. They're both not cooped up in their rooms anymore and are doing their Zoom classes in the kitchen without worry of embarrassment. Would I be the butthole if I reported my daughter's teacher for not pronouncing her name correctly? My daughter's English teacher refuses to pronounce her name correctly. She has a Japanese name and we live in Japan. Her name is Kanae, pronounced K-A-N-A-A-A. Recently, Kanae told me that her English teacher, an expatriate from America, at school calls her Kanae. She told me that she told the teacher my name Kanae. It's 3 claps, syllables. But the English teacher told Kanae that she was incorrect, and that grammatically speaking that she, her teacher, was correct. During my daughter's sports day I confronted the teacher. I explained that my daughter would like the be called K-A-N-A-A-A, but she laughed and said she was pronouncing it the way it's supposed to be, but will try her best to remember. Today, my daughter told me the teacher still calls her Kanae. My daughter is very shy, and it took a lot for her to correct her teacher the first time. I'm considering going to the school in the morning. But is that an overreaction? For some clarity, I'm not Japanese, my wife is, so our kids are mixed race. Our kids are fluent in English and Japanese. Not like Kanae West, but Cap, plus Nye like Bill Nye. Oh wow. I wrote this late at night and went to sleep. I didn't expect it to get this much attention. Thank you for all of the responses. I can't reply to them all. But this morning we couldn't go. Son had an earache, but we are going there after school ends. We asked our daughter if she wanted us to tell. She said that she didn't care. We don't want the teacher fired. We just want our daughter respected in her classroom. Am I wrong for refusing to help a co-worker in need? A few months ago, a new position was created at my workplace that I was interested in and already doing about half the workload for. I was told if I apply for it, I'll get it from multiple directors. I applied for it. I did not get it. The directors gave it to Mary. Turns out 4/5 on the hiring committee voted for me. The 5th with hiring power picked Mary because she knows Mary better. Anyway, obviously I was pretty upset. Since then, I've continued to do my role, but stopped doing anything beyond my job description. That is now part of Mary's job. Here's the issue. Mary is struggling. A lot. She's been staying late to catch up. Every time I see her, she looks flustered / run down. She can't handle the workload and has hinted that she'd like me to continue doing what I was doing before. I've refused because 1. They chose Mary. 2. She's making significantly more than me now, and I don't want to do that work for the lesser rate. I might be the butthole. I could help her relatively easily. I have the time / skills, and I was already doing the work she's struggling with. I just don't want to. I have no problem with Mary herself. She's lovely. I feel pretty guilty sometimes that it's hurting her directly. I might not be the butthole. I'm sticking to my job description and doing everything required of my current role. I've been polite to Mary and the directors at all times. Just refuse to do all of the extra projects. Am I wrong for refusing to help a coworker in need? Edits for clarification. 1. Mary and I are in different departments. She's not my supervisor, nor would she ever be. My direct supervisor was not a part of the hiring committee. 2. Many people asked how I lost a 4/5 vote. I was interviewed by 5 people on the hiring committee, but only one of them, the director / supervisor of this position, actually got to choose the candidate. I don't understand why it went to committee then, but that's what they told me. 3. I'm looking for a new job. I was already thinking about leaving before this happened, and was hoping the promotion would give me a reason to stay. 4. Thanks for all of the feedback / advice. Lots to think about. Am I wrong for not letting go after my boyfriend's family's joke? I'm currently dating a man who is Muslim. Before meeting him, I knew literally nothing about Islam and thought that all Muslims wore a headscarf at least, but his mom and sister do not cover their hair or dress conservatively. His mom explained that Islam doesn't specifically require that. They actually aren't that religious, so I don't worry about being of different faiths anymore. I met his extended family recently, and he convinced me that they are much more religious than his mom and dad, and there would be a lot of drama if I didn't dress a specific way. I told him I shouldn't have to, but I eventually agreed, so I showed up in a full-length skirt, long sleeves, hood to cover my hair, and when we got there his aunt opened the door, and she was wearing a headscarf, but his mom was right behind her with her normal clothes and her hair down. He started laughing and told me it was just a prank. I immediately got mad and his parents started laughing too. When I didn't eventually laugh, his mom told me to grow up. His aunt actually apologized later and said his mom has always been a mean girl. I didn't speak to him for the whole time we were there, and as we were leaving his mom made a comment about life is so much easier if you have a sense of humor. We fought about it in the car. He finally admitted that his mom told him about something similar his dad did while they were dating, and he thought it was funny. It's been a few days and I don't want to break up, but I'm still being cold and distant because I'm not completely over it. Now he is saying that I'm playing mind games. Am I wrong for getting in the way of my wife bonding with our girls by not refusing to spend time with them when they wanted? Throwaway account. I, 40 male, am the father of 2 beautiful girls, Anna, F, and Lisa, F. I love my girls deeply, but I always felt like they loved their mom, 42 female, more because I was always away working. Earlier this year my wife and her friends went overseas for a 2-week girls trip. I was happy for her because this is something that she and her friends always talked about doing, but had to keep putting it off. I also wanted to take this opportunity to be with my girls more and took a whole week off of work. Then the global issue hit. In those 2 weeks my wife was away turned into months because the foreign government didn't want people flying in with the virus. My girls and their mother were all heartbroken, and I was temporarily not working. My wife was a stay-at-home mom and kept the house running, so I was a little panicked about keeping the house together for the long run. But I knew I needed to be calm and decisive for my girls. After about 1 to 2 days of panicking, I sucked it up in front of them and secretly would vent to my friends. Not gonna lie, it was a rough start because my wife was more organized than me and had a solid routine. I knew that I could always ask Anna what to do, but I didn't want to because I knew how upset she was about not seeing her mom and friends and being worried about the virus because of her asthma. She had enough to deal with, so I just figured it out. Eventually I got it all down and I was able to work from home. It was less hours, but I got a promotion which came with a raise, so my income didn't decrease. While away, my girls and I would spend a lot of time together watching movies/TV shows, taking weekend walks, doing puzzles, playing dolls, and I even let Anna paint my nails. During the time my wife was away, Lisa lost her first tooth, celebrated her 6th birthday, and Anna got her first period. My girls and I bonded a lot, and when my wife was able to come home, I felt as if my family was complete again. However, after the first few days, my girls went back to wanting to spend more time with me. I could tell that my wife's feelings were hurt, but I didn't know what else I could do. After putting Lisa into bed, she had gotten used to falling asleep with me. My wife approached me and said that whenever our girls wanted to spend time with me to refuse, so that they would come back to her like the old days. I suggested we have more family nights and outings instead. She said it wouldn't work because they would just start gravitating to me and that she needed more single parent time. I told my wife that I would support more mother-daughter activities, but I was not going to turn our girls away when I didn't have to. My wife was deeply upset and offended by this and accused me of being unsupportive of her connecting with our girls after being away for so long. I don't really see it that way, but am I wrong? Did you like this video? If so, consider subscribing to Reddit. We upload new videos and updates every day. Thank you for watching.